place where like there's clubbing music, there's all these sort of voices going on around this place. You know how hard it is to hear Casper's voice. How hard it is, like it's super hard because Casper is here, and then when you walk in, it's like deuce music, and you're just like, oh my goodness, like how am I gonna hear Casper? It's the same as your situation in our everyday life. We kind of like go into the real world. You're facing all these voices. You're hearing a lot from your parent, from your friend. Don't do this. You go get an A, and then you come back. You're hearing voices when you go to party. You guys are going to uni. There will be a lot of like, new like fresher party, that sort of thing. You guys will be facing this sort of thing. Or even if you're like, you're in high school, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about just the party side. I'm talking about your, maybe your everyday life. What do you do every day? I'm playing game. I'm just sleeping. I'm just do all this, watching TV. Vampire Diaries, all this sort of thing. And you just get soaked in with all these voices in your mind. You kind of like, you have no idea, like you can't hear God's voice anymore because you're so overwhelmed by these voices. And then, the reason why I put the message title as, oh wait, is that you, God? It's the same thing. When you walk into that room, I'm not too sure if many of you have questioned yourself this, but have you thought to yourself and you say like, wait, is that Casper yelling at me, or am I just hearing things? And now, so as I said, you go into your real life, and then you kind of get lost into this thing. And the funny thing is that I was reading not an article, but I went to do some research about fishing, and then funny that God showed me this. It's a fishing trap. And it's like I call it like a funnel fishing trap. And what happened is that there's like a big hole on both sides of it. I'm not too sure if you guys have seen it. Have you guys seen it before? Yeah. Okay, some of you have? Okay. So basically it's like a really big hole on the side. And when the fish come in, they put like some food in there or something. So the fish are, oh, that's cool. Like, let's check it out, And then the fish just like swarm in. And then when it gets close, like, cause the big round, the gate is getting more narrow and narrow. So when the fish swarm in, they can't get out. They're stuck because they're stuck in that trap. It's the same as our everyday life. When you walk in, when you put one step in, another step in, leaving God behind, just one more step, and then you find yourself stuck. You're stuck in this trap. And it's so hard to get out because you kind of like, oh, wondering and then just like, oh, I'm so confused, I'm so lost, how am I going to get out? Well, here's the good news. Here's the good news, okay? God sent Jesus down, obviously, to die on the cross for your sin. And Jesus said, I am the way. I am the way. And then if you look to Jesus, if you're like, oh, like I'm so like confused and lost right now, but then Jesus' voice come in. It might be a whisper to you. It might be something big happening in your life. I'm not too sure, but God has His own way to speak to you guys. But when you hear that voice, and maybe at first you might be like, oh wait, is that you, God? Is that you trying to tell me something? But when you're really sure, when you're like, okay, that I believe, I believe that was God. So God will provide a way out. And from that fishing trap, from this whole world thing that come against you. And now, there's one thing that I was praying about. I was like, God, what do you want me to tell to the youth? And I believe that God was telling me to tell you guys what it is like to have a fear of God, to really like to have this fear of God. It's not like what a lot of you think, because let's see, many people are thinking like, oh, like God is up there in heaven, and then He's scary. I'm so scared of Him, and like I'm scared of all the judgment and all the punishment and all this sort of thing. And, I have sinned. I'm probably going to hell anyway. This sort of fear that a lot of people might not know, that they think like this. And let's take a look at some story of my life. As you all know, I was an unbeliever, believe it or not. And I was scared because I didn't know God. I didn't know God at that time, and I was so scared. And I'm like, I did something that really wrong. And I was a Buddhist, and they do believe that. They do believe in heaven and hell as well, and they do believe that if you do bad, you go to heaven, you go to hell, and then you need to get you get like all this sort of punishment, all this sort of torturing, and all this sort of stuff. And then there's this fear in me. I don't even know who that God is. I don't even know if there's a God at that time. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna live my life like party boy, and do all this sort of stuff like an unbeliever. And you see, like this sort of fear is not what we should fear. It's not what we should fear. Yeah, it's not. So you may ask me. So what it is like to be? What is it like for a Christian to fear God? Okay. Well, I have another story I want to tell you. So basically, what happened is Jill and I, already going out for almost 3 years. And we know each other very well. Like she can think of something, and I'm just like, nah, you think like that. Oh, you wanna go left or right? I don't know, but yeah, I know what she's thinking. And one thing that I know, okay, I'm sure Sharon knows about this, about John as well, but yeah, one thing that I know is that she hates when I spend a lot of money. When I don't have money. John, stop! Anyway, I spend a lot of money when I shouldn't be. I like a lot of Apple stuff. I like iPad. I like, all this other stuff. And then, well, basically last Thursday, I was walking in Maya. It was on my take break. I was walking in Maya, and I'm like, oh, let's check out some wallet. I think my wallet's so old. I want to check out. So I walked in, and I walked into this men wallet section, and then I looked through, and then I was like, whoa, that is very beautiful brown wallet sitting right in front of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna get that, man, But then another thought come into my mind, and it's like, if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get killed, man. It's $100 wallet. You're gonna get killed from that. And then I was like, oh, should I get it? Should I get it? I was like battering in my mind. I'm thinking to myself, should I buy it? In the end, I walked away from it. I was like, yes, I overcome that temptation to buy that wallet. So I walked away from Maya to Ishin Cafe, which is Jillian, the best Japanese food in Northbridge, okay? So if you go to Northbridge, please, okay, I'm not gonna advertise, but it's really good food, okay? So I walked there and I was working, okay? So as I worked, this guy come in. This guy, very cool, Asian looking, he's walking like a rich man, and then he just put out his wallet, and it's brown. And I'm like, oh man, my mom was just like, I want to get that brown wallet. So what happened is, I walked back to Maya. And it takes like 10 minutes, I'm just like, oh man, every step, I'm just thinking, I'm gonna get killed. But in the end, I made it to Maya. And then I stand right in front of this beautiful wallet. And I was like, it's worth it. It's gonna be getting you, But then, in the end of the day, I brought that wallet, and thank God, it was on sale. It was on sale. It was from $100 to like $70. I'm like, or $30 off. That's a lot of money that I saved. Regarding I just spent $70 on that wallet. When I have like $140 in my bank account. But yeah, so I spent it. I'm like, should I do this? You know, there's still some thought, there's still some thought in my mind, and I'm like, should I do it? Oh, okay. Just hand my credit card to the guys, and he was like, oh, you want to join my year club? You know, you get all this discount and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should join it, you know? And then, anyway, I got that wallet. It's here, somewhere in my bag. It's very cool. Anyway, so I believe it was on Friday. It was on Friday, because I'm not too sure if any of you have seen there's a picture of Jeff Banks' studio. Yes. Yeah, you seen that? That's the card for my wallet, by the way. And I posted that, and Jill was like, what is that? Like, so random. Why all of a sudden you just post that thing on the Facebook? And I was like, oh man, like I'm getting it, you know, she's on to me, man, you know? So what happened? I was just like, okay, I didn't technically lie to her. I was like, oh, I'm studying typography, and I really like that font, you know? and then Jill was like, oh, okay. And then Friday night, that was on Friday morning, and then Friday night, she came, because we went to somewhere together, and then she was like, Frank, is that your new wallet? I'm like, oh no, she's on to me, no, I'm gonna get cute, oh God, please save me. And then she flipped the wallet, like, cause inside my wallet it has this a really cool letter, just like engraved with like Jeff Banks Studio, you know? And then she turned it and she was like, that look familiar? And she was like, oh, it's that picture! That's why you posted that picture on, and blah 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 blah. I swear to you, it was the longest hour of my life. She was just on and on and on and on, just, you know, all this sort of stuff, and I'm just like, gosh, woman, shut up! I'm sorry, I didn't say that to her. I was thinking. Okay, so I was thinking, and you know what? Like, there's some like when I did that sort of stuff. There's one line that Jillian's always said it to me. There's one line. I remember that. I engrave it in my heart. You know, like I'm gonna remember that. Okay, this is what she said. She was like, she always said this. If you know I'm going to get angry, why do you keep buying stuff? She always asked me that, and she was like, why do you keep doing this? Now look, you see, like, isn't it the same about life, in our life? You know, like you learn about God, you know God, you walk as a Christian, but then you somehow, maybe you get distracted, and then you just like walk away, and then you just fall into this sort of like maybe clubbing phase, or a party phase, or maybe watching Vampire Diaries phase, you know, and you know, or play games or anything that distracts you from God. Have you ever thought that God might be sitting up there in heaven and like you're just like, son, like, you know, I told you so many times, like, you know, if you know that I cannot stand sins, why you keep sinning? You know, why are you keep doing it even though you know it's wrong? You know God's voice, because when you walk into maybe party or something, there will be a voice that tell you, don't, like, why? You know, it's a gray area, you know, like you may think, oh, clubbing is fine as long as I don't get drunk, but why would you put yourself in temptation? Why would you put yourself walking toward it and just like, you know, I'm strong, I'm a Christian, you know, when I go to this kind of thing, nothing gonna get me, you know, my God is cool. Yeah, but did you know that there's a time that God will hand you over to Satan? Did you know that? Well, I didn't before, until, like, you know, when I found out, I was shocked, and I'm like, wow, God, please forgive me. Really, like, really, really forgive me. Okay, now you see, this sort of fear is what we should be fearing, okay? The fear that, you know, when you look in my story with Jill, you know, I know her, we're respecting each other, we cares about her. That's how it built up, this sort of like, kind of like a little, like, you know, a fear of like, oh, I don't want to hurt this person because I cares about this person. I don't want to do this because, you know, like, if I do it, I know that God will hurt. So, you know, it doesn't please God at all, you know. So instead of doing that, when you have this sort of fear building up in you, and when you walk away, God is there, and you know, He will like He has His arm wide open and welcome you back. Okay. So for those who are here tonight, you may feel like, oh man, my life sucks. You know, I don't feel like I'm good enough for God. I don't feel like, you know, all this sort of feeling that you feel. I believe that God is up there, and you know, God is telling you that don't feel, you know, like this, like I'm here. Just all you have to do is just walk away from that. Return, you know, turn around, repent, come back to me with your fears and your respect to God, and ask for forgiveness. And now, I just want to read out a verse that I find in Deuteronomy 10, 12, and 20 to 21. And it said, "And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you, but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, to love Him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Fear the Lord your God and serve Him. Hold fast to Him and take your oaths in His name. He is your praise. He is your God, who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eye." And when, like, you know, the next thing that I want to say is like, do we know God enough? Do you think that you know God enough? Because I believe if you know God well enough, you will repent. You will turn around. Because you know Him. You have this sort of relationship with Him. You're not just like, oh, I know God. He's that guy that called Jesus, you know, the guy that died on the cross. Yeah, that's cool, man. You know, He died for my sin. I know that, but I'm going to live my own life. I don't care about Him. But once you get to know God, once you walk closer with Him, and once you know that how much He loves you, and how much He cares for you, and how much He's willing to sacrifice Himself on that cross just to save you. And once you understand that, like, you know, He hates all sins because He's righteous, because He's holy. Once you understand all this sort of stuff, once you understand more about God, then you will start to respect Him. You start to like, okay, God, I'm sorry. I want to turn away, turn around, and get back to You. It's the same as my relationship with Jillian. You know, she would get pissed off if I keep buying stuff. And like, I always ask myself, like, I understand it's hard because the worldly stuff are pretty, well, I can buy it, you know, if I have money, but if I don't, then, you know, like, because she loved me, that's why she told me, don't buy it because you don't have money. So, I just want to finish off with a few verses, and I just want you to know that the fear of God is the basis for our walking in His ways, serving Him, and of course, loving Him. Now, let's just look back at what we have learned tonight. Believers are not to be scared of God. We have no reason to be scared of Him. We have His promise that nothing can separate us from His love. And this is what it says, Romans 8:38 to 39. "For I am sure that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." And there's another one that says, I love this verse, Hebrews 13:5. We have His promise that He will never leave us or forsake us. Now, fearing God means having such a reverence for Him that it has a great impact on your life, on the way you live. Because if it doesn't impact you, then, you know, like, what does fearing God mean? Because, like what I said, like, fearing God means like having such a reverence that it will have an impact in your life. So, you know, the fear of God is respecting Him, obeying Him, submitting to His discipline, and worshipping Him in all. Now, I just want to finish it off with a story, okay? It's not really a story. I want you to think with me, okay? So what I want you to do now is just think about the person that you love the most, the person that you will probably die for that person. Think about it, okay? And then one day, let's say you get married, okay? Let's say you two got married and you stay together, you're having a great life, you love each other, and then one day you gotta go work, okay? You gotta go work, and then you were late in the morning, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna get killed by my boss and stuff, and then you go to your workplace and your boss just yell at you, and you're like, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna see the one that I love. And then as you walk back, you were walking on the road and stuff, and then there's the puddle of waters, and then there's a car coming in, and then drive on the water, and then obviously the water splash on you, and then you're like, oh man, what a crappy day, but it's okay. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna see the one that I love. I can't wait for that. So you're walking home, you're walking, and then as you walk by, you see the window, there's a window. You walk by and you saw this picture that you would not imagine of. You see your loved one, okay? You see your loved one doing something with your worst enemy. Having something. I don't want to say that word, but yeah, they did something. And all you can do is just stay there and watch it happen. You can't do anything. Because if you do something, obviously, you're gonna probably kill both of them or something. But, you feel that heartbroken, you feel that, and that's how God felt like when you walk in the way of wicked, when you decided to choose sin over Him. That's how He felt like, guys. And it starts from the fear of the Lord. It starts from this fear. If you want to turn back to Him, do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Say a prayer to Him and tell Him how much you're sorry. If you may have done something wrong in the past or anything, and leave this behind. Because the reason why I say this is because we need to move forward. We cannot stay at the same place. God has a lot of great plan for us. He has planned where this GMC will go to. And I believe that you guys are an amazing youth group. And I believe that God has blessed us so much. But we can't move forward if we still haven't dealt with our business. And it starts from fearing the Lord. And if I can just get you to spend some time with God and say a few prayers to Him. And can I invite Casey to come up and play some piano? And once we've done that, we're going to sing one more song. And we're going to give it with everything that we got for Him. Okay? Alright, let's spend some time with God. If you need a Bible, there's a Bible at the back, so you can go grab some.